Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Harmony One. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, I'd encourage you to watch that before watching this one. It's going to be linked in the top right-hand corner of the screen. And once you're done with that, you can come back to this one, of course, just so you have more context to all the indicators and levels we've been targeting. Now let's jump straight into the TA. Taking a look at the daily chart, we have the exact same Fibonacci retracement with the swing high printed either in January 2022 or October 2021. Whichever high you pick, doesn't matter, they're the exact same. And we have the swing low printed all the way back in June of 2021. Now, as you can see, we have met our 1.618 target here at 0.01313 cents, and we've even gone down below that, and then we had to move to the upside. Right now we're trying to break above the 1.272. So if you don't know how to use the Fibonacci retracements, there's going to be a link in the description to a video where I explain how to use the Fib retracement, because it's a very, very important indicator that I use in all of my videos. So it's an integral part of my technical analysis, and I want you to be able to understand everything. So for that, you'd need to get familiar with the Fib retracement. So zooming into the daily chart, let's see what's going on here. So the last update was 7 days ago on Harmony One, and since that time we were able to come back down to the 20 EMA and retest that as support, just like I told everyone this would be a great entry for literally all of the projects that you were targeting. The 20 EMA was a perfect entry. So you could have taken profits at the 1.272, bought back in 15% cheaper off the 20, and right now you're 17.5 or 18% in profit off of the 20 EMA. So the 20 EMA is holding us up. This is our support band for now in this local uptrend that we're seeing, and potentially we are gonna move all the way up here to 0.0334 cents. That is exactly where we retraced to in August of 2022, and that is also a pretty important level from the weekly chart. We're going to take a look at that on the Binance website later on, but that is basically a major technical target from a falling wedge pattern. So like I said, we'll take a look at that in just a moment. So if you want to take some profits at that level, just potentially set some sell limit orders just below that resistance trend line, because you never want to set the sell order at the exact price of the resistance. Now you can also see that once we capitulated in May, that's where we bounced off of. Then we retested that exact same level as resistance a couple of months later. And right now, as you can see, we're coming back up potentially for another retest, but in a bullish scenario, we would break all the way above and potentially even come back up and retest this swing low that we printed in June of 2021. So that's the bullish scenario. Now, what is the bearish scenario? Because a lot of people, to be frank, are flipping bullish and are doing so as if they haven't been liquidated before, or the market hasn't taught them a lesson. So the lesson is that once you see a move to the upside, you don't get bullish immediately, because what you end up doing is you end up FOMOing in, you buy in at these prices, and then later on you see a pullback. So what I want you to pay attention to is that every February since 2020, I think, or 2019, we have seen a pullback. Now, I'm not sure if this is the pullback that we were expecting and we're going to go up from here, but pretty much every February we do see a pretty significant pullback, I would say, for Bitcoin. And obviously with Bitcoin, all the altcoins go down lower. The stock market is potentially going to see another correction, and the Fed is unable to handle the inflation problem. So we're not out of the woods yet. This is not the bull market starting, and I'm not saying we're going to be printing new lows per se, but I do think we're going to see a deeper correction sometime down the line. Potentially, we could even extend this move to the upside all the way into, March, early April, maybe. I'm not sure. That would be quite bullish, and you could make a lot of money in that one move. And then we can see a pullback into April, June, May. And from there, we could see a move to the upside into August, like we usually do during the summertime. But that's obviously, like I said, the bullish scenario. So I would be having some buy limit orders all the way down here for Harmony 1 at the 55 daily EMA at 2 cents roughly. That's going to be an incredible entry point for anyone looking to enter if you haven't already. Also, you have this local high that we printed in November at 0.02156 cents. That's going to be a pretty good entry level, so you may just want to set up some buy orders. And potentially, if all of this fails, let's say all of this fails, you do have a support block here between 0.01712 down to 0.01595. This is a support block we have retested multiple times. So once in July, once in October, then we lost it, and then we went up, back tested it as support in January this year. Then we had this move to the upside. So potentially we're going to come back down and retest this support block, and that is going to provide us with a very, very good entry. So I would keep an eye on this and draw this out on your chart. And if we take a look at the 1.618 target, I'm not saying that we're going to come back down there, but just keep in mind that something like this is possible. This is possible. This is a very, very plausible scenario where we come back down and retest the 1.618. That's a 50% pullback, but it is possible. We are in a bear market, guys. We haven't even broken above the August high for Bitcoin or even Harmony 1. So I would say stay conservative. Dollar cost average when you can off of support levels. Right now isn't the time to be dollar cost averaging. I did buy some with this pullback that we got. I bought a bunch of altcoins, so all of that is going to be on my Patreon. I let my members or let the patrons know of everything. Now, taking a look at Harmony 1 on the daily RSI, you can see that we're pulling back down here and we're dropping out of this overextended area that we were in above the index of 70 on the RSI, and I would be eyeballing this support trend line here. As you can see, we had multiple touches off of that trend line. We had a couple of fake outs above as well, and right now I think we're going to be coming back down there. If not, I would target the golden support block, and then you have the purple support block below. These are important levels you want to keep an eye on, because once you see the RSI all the way down here, that's going to be a great entry. That's going to be a great entry, and that's where you buy most of the coins, and that's where you go hard into Harmony 1 in this zone, right? When you're oversold, that's when you want to be buying. Now, let's switch over to the Binance website. And before we continue, guys, I quickly want to talk about my Patreon. Now, if you want to get involved, there's going to be a 7-day free trial. So you can go ahead and join, and you're going to get access to all of my content since I started posting on Patreon, which was all the way back in October of 2021. So there are hundreds and hundreds of posts with low cap gems, my exclusive podcasts that I do for patrons only, my low cap gem reviews, project highlights, your technical analysis requests, exclusive videos for patrons. So there's a whole bunch of stuff there that I don't share on YouTube or Twitter as to add more value to it. And I also share all of my buys, all of my sells. I share my portfolio in there. So if that's something that you're interested in and you really want to support the channel, then feel free to check it out. Thank you. So taking a look at the weekly chart, as you can see, we are breaking above this resistance block that we have, and we are potentially going to come back down and retest that as support, hopefully. If not, the 20 EMA should hold us as support. That should be our immediate support down below. We have a major resistance level here at 3 cents roughly. That's the August swing high. We talked about that already. So basically, it's really simple here. You go down here, you buy, and technically, if you still want to be dollar cost averaging at 3 cents, You could do that, of course. I wouldn't be doing that because I'm not, I wouldn't be buying after this 120% move to the upside. Once you see a strong pullback, okay, then I might consider. But for now, this is where you want to be potentially either swing trading or taking profits if you're a short-term trader. And yeah, so this support block, pretty important, with the swing high here in August of 2020 and the swing low here in July of 2022. It's based off of those two points of contact. Then we saw a nice bounce here in November, but then we ended up dropping below with a little fake out, and then we immediately shot above. So what you can also be targeting is the 55 EMA on the weekly and this large diagonal blue trend line that was our major bull market support trend line for a very long time until we lost it here in July, back test as resistance, and then we come back down into the falling wedge. So hopefully we take out the falling wedge target at least, and that's going to be a pretty good trade from this support all the way up there, 197%, a 3x in a couple of months. I think that's pretty good in a bear market. Taking a look at the weekly RSI, we're coming back down, or rather we came back down into this support block, but really we're not able to, well, we're moving above it right now, but I don't think we're going to go much higher here unless Bitcoin really does something crazy, because you can see every time you have this parabolic move to the upside, you typically see a move back down. For example, here, you had a very strong move to the upside and then you drop down. For example, here you had a very strong move to the upside and then you drop down. So it's just cyclic. Everything's cyclical. So you have to be expecting something to come back down once it went up so much. Now, taking a look at let's jump into the 3-day chart and let's take a look at the stochastic here. Now, the settings for the stochastic are set up in a way where we don't get any false signals, and this is really easy to navigate. So I have the 14 and 28 settings for the stochastic, and as you can see, we have lower highs constantly being printed since July of 2020. And potentially you're going to run into that level there sometime in March or April this year before you see one more move to the downside. And the next time we come back up above that level, that's when we potentially break into the bull market there. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. But yeah, this is a very conservative technical indicator. As you can see, even in May of 2021 and October of 2021, we were not sitting in the overbought zones. So I would be looking at these levels as strong selling points for Harmony One on the 3-day chart. Yeah, if we jump into the weekly chart, for example, on the same indicator, it's going to be even less volatile. And if you're going to be all the way up here on this indicator here with these settings, that means you're very, very overbought. So you could play around with the settings. You can watch a couple of tutorials on the stochastic as well. I might do one myself just so everyone's familiar on how it works. And that's pretty much everything I wanted to say about Harmony One. Thank you all for watching. If I missed out anything important on the charts, please let me know down below in the comment section. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye and good night.